Hey friends, welcome back. In part 26, we are going to break down another powerful API inside our dashboard controller, the Get Sales Summary API, which provides us with a quick snapshot of total sales, this month's sales, and even today's sales. Let's jump right into it. Firstly, we bring in our required modules. We import SQLized tools like OP, FN, Call, and Literal. This is super handy for performing custom queries and calculations inside SQLize. Now here's something cool. Before we start querying, we define a little utility function called getWeekOfMonth. This function takes a date and returns which week of the month. Now inside our getSalesSummary function, everything happens inside a try-catch block because we want to handle errors gracefully, just like we've been doing in all our APIs. Let's move through it step by step. Here we extract the user ID from the query parameters. This is required for authentication, so our auth middleware can verify that the request is tied to a valid user. Next, we prepare some date-based filters. This logic figures out the current year, the current month, and the current week of the month using a helper function getWeekOfMonth. Armed with that, we start making our database queries. First one is total sale. This one is simple. We use SQLize's sum method to calculate the total value of sales amount across all records. This gives us the lifetime total sales. Great for high-level reporting. Second is this month's sale. Here, we add a filter using SQLize's where clause. We check if the month name equals the current month and the year equals the current year. And finally, this week's sale. This one's the most granular. We filter by current week, current month, and current year, all three, so we can pull only the sales that happened this week, this month, this year. This allows us to track what's happening today with super high precision. Once we have run all three queries successfully, we send them back in the response like this. It's clean, informative, and fast. Of course, if anything goes wrong, like DB issue or a logic error, we catch it in the catch block, log it for debugging, and respond with a proper 500 internal server error. This API gives us a real-time sales dashboard, at a glance, total, monthly, and today's numbers, all ready to plug into graphs and visualizations. Let's test it in Postman. Here I have already added request for Get Sales Summary and JWT token in Headers tab, and also user ID in Params tab. Let's hit send. Here is our response. Now let's switch gears and talk about how we connect this API to the front end. So here comes our Fetch Sales Summary function inside the React admin panel. This function plays a crucial role in securely retrieving sales summary data from the backend and making it available for the dashboard. At the very top, we do something important. We call our utility functions checkToken and user and checkToken expiry, both introduced earlier in part 23. These ensure the JWT token is present and not expired, so only authenticated users can fetch this data. Next, we extract user information using getToken and user, and then build secure request headers using getAuth headers. This ensures that every request we make includes the proper authorization token in the headers. Now comes the core part. We use Axios to make a GET request to our backend endpoint, GetSalesSummary. Here's the key part. We also pass user ID as a query parameter. This user ID is required by our auth middleware on the backend to validate that the request is coming from a legitimate, authenticated user. So this ensures our root stays protected and secure. We can also call it secure by design. If the request is successful, we return the response.data, which contains total sell, this month's sell, and today's sell. Ready to be displayed in our UI. But what if something goes wrong? We catch the error inside a try-catch block and log the issue for debugging. If the error is related to unauthorized access, that is, a 401 status, we call handle session expired function to gracefully end the session and prompt the user to re-authenticate. Now let's walk through the updated dashboard.js file and understand the key changes that bring our sales insights to life. Originally, the dashboard was using static placeholder values for the total sell, this month's sell, and today's sell boxes. Now we are going to make it fully dynamic using a fetch sales summary function. Firstly, at the top of dashboard.js, we will import fetch sales summary function. Next, we define 3 new state variables to store our live sales data of total sell, this month's sell, and today's sell respectively. These are initially set to 0, and once the API fetches real data, we will update them accordingly. Inside our use effect, which already handles fetching transactions and spend analysis data, we now add logic to fetch the sales summary too. This fetch sales summary function internally extracts the user ID from the token and passes it to the backend as a query parameter. This is crucial because our backend middleware uses that user ID to validate the session and authorize the request properly. Once the response comes back, we extract the 3 values, total sell, this month's sell, and today's sell, and set them into state. By the way, on dashboard we are going to show value of current week sale is today's sale. Now that we have live data in our state, we will update the 3 dashboard boxes. We are using parsefloat to local string function to make the numbers look nice. We are applying the same logic for this month's sell and today's sell. Let's give it a run and check it out inside the browser. That wraps up this part. Stay tuned and let's keep building.